Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us at this webinar that was specially organized by Stanbic IBTC Insurance Limited of Stanbic IBTC. We are super excited to have you. And as you can tell by my smile, I'm very happy to be here as your host. My name is Mujibade Shosoya, and I'll be your host and moderator for this webinar session that we have organized just for you. We will be answering all your questions about our insurance products, about a special insurance product that we have. But just before we meet our panelists and our speakers for today, I'd like everyone who is joining us to please introduce themselves in the comment section. I will spotlight randomly, so please tell us your name, where you're joining from, and what you do. And very randomly, I'll pick from the chat room who I'm spotlighting, so it could be you. So please feel free to drop your name, your location, and what you do, and I will spotlight everyone at different points. So thank you again for joining us. Good morning, good afternoon, and if it's evening where you're joining from, good evening. We're super excited that you're joining us today at this webinar where we'll be providing clarity for one of our very special products at Stanbic IBTC Insurance Limited. We're super excited that you're here. So thank you once again for joining us, and we're looking forward to a very fantastic and of course expository conversation today about the Sunset Benefit Plan. So we have tagged this webinar Covered Beyond Life, and I'm sure a lot of people are wondering what exactly is Covered Beyond Life. Not to worry, we have two speakers who will do justice to that conversation, and of course we would like to take questions from you, our guests that have joined us today, all participants joining us. So please do well to note your questions once the session starts. But before the session starts, and before I introduce everyone, I have two speakers. Before I introduce them, I'd like to take everyone, I'd like to take your introduction. So I'm looking in the chat room now, and I'm waiting to read from everyone who's joined us. So tell us your name, your location, and of course, what you do. You never know. We're networking also, virtually. So this is a great platform to drop your name, your location, and what you do. Your next business partner might be online. You never know that. So if you drop your name, I will spotlight. I will spotlight what you do, your name, and your location. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're excited to be here, you can use the emojis. Just show us some love, show us some excitement. We're really, really excited to have you here, and we want to feel the excitement in the chat room. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, everyone. We're super excited that you're here. So we're wishing you a great time. We promise that the next couple of hours or minutes, as it were, will be well worth your time. We'll be providing clarity, answering all your questions. So without further ado, I'm waiting for a few more people to drop their name, their location, and what they do. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for the emojis. Thank you for the emojis. Thank you very much. All right, we're getting started, and I will be introducing our speakers very shortly. I would allow my speakers introduce themselves. I have two speakers today who will be helping with providing clarity as to what the Sunset Benefit Plan exactly is. Some people might have heard about it. Some people may not have heard about it. But on this webinar, we'll be providing clarity as to what the Sunset Benefit Plan of the Stanbic IBTC Insurance Limited is. All right, so I'm handing over to my first speaker, Fumilayo. Over to you. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Mujibade. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm super excited to be here. I'm Fumi Ogunbi. I'm head of technical for Stanbic IBTC Insurance.
Thank you very much, Fumi. We're looking forward to a great conversation. I also have Abdul Majid. Can you please introduce yourself, Abdul Majid?
Hi, Mujibade. I am Daramala Abdul Majid. I am the product team for Stanbic IBTC Insurance, and I'm here to let the world know that there's a solution that allows them to show care to their loved ones and honor them in the right way.
All right, great. So Thank you so much. Now you have met my two speakers for today. Let me again reintroduce myself because I will be hosting and moderating this session today. My name is Mujibade Shosoya, aka the Lady MC, and I will be steering the conversation today as we shed more light to our special product at Stanbic IBTC Insurance Limited. It's called the Sunset Benefit Plan. So without much further ado, we will get into the conversation, but just out of curiosity, because I'm a little curious, I like to find out how people feel about this product, just to pick, your thoughts. So first of all, have you ever heard about funeral insurance before? If you've heard about it, give me the thumbs up. If you have ever heard about funeral insurance before, I know we hear of all types of insurance, but have you ever heard about funeral insurance? If you have, give me a thumbs up. Let me see the chat let me see the emojis answering my questions. Give me a thumbs up. Let me see the number of people that have heard about funeral. I know we hear all types of insurance, but there is one special one that we have here, and it's funeral insurance. If you've heard about it, give me a thumbs up. Let me see. Okay, I'm seeing a few thumbs up. Great, great. All right, so the second question that I would like to ask before we get into the conversation for the day is, have you ever had to contribute to a family member's funeral planning before? So, I mean, financially, of course. I'm raising my hand. I've had to contribute. In fact, we open a WhatsApp group and start to apportion, how much each person will pay. I've been added to different WhatsApp groups before when people are planning funerals. So I'm number one on that list. If you have ever had to contribute, give me another thumbs up. I'm just trying to feel the pulse of everyone here. I'm just trying to understand, if you're Nigerian like me and you've been added to a WhatsApp group before where you've had to pay for or contribute to a family member's funeral plan. Okay, I see a few hands, including my hand, because I'm a part of that. That WhatsApp group, in fact, in several WhatsApp group of contributing to funerals. Okay, now that we have tested everyone and felt our pulses, we'll get straight to the conversation. And just like I said, insurance, when we hear about insurance, right? Sometimes people are like, I don't want to pay insurance, but there are different types of insurance plans. And today we'll be talking to you about a very special insurance product that we have at Stanbic IBTC Insurance Limited. I will start with my first panelists. I have two of them and you already met them before. And if you're just joining us at this webinar, we say welcome. We say thank you. We're super excited to have you here. Thank you for making time this Wednesday morning to join us at this specially curated webinar where we have set up two panelists that will provide answers to all the questions that you have concerning this funeral insurance plan that we have designed for you at Stanbic IBTC. So I will start with Fumi. Fumi introduced herself earlier. We also have Abdul Majid, and I am Mujibade Shosoya, who is your moderator and host for today. So Fumi, I'm starting with you. Hi Fumi, can you please tell us what exactly is the Sunset Benefit Plan about?
Thank you very much, Mujibade. I quite appreciate the fact that you introduced the product by saying that it's one of a special kind of a product. And I agree with you that it's a special product. So I would describe Sunset Benefit Plan is that it's a financial tool that you use to plan for your future. And what do I mean by that? We all know that humanity has built on us that at the point in time, we're going to die. Even though it's something we don't want to hear about, but it's something that's definitely going to happen. And what that means is a certainty. So Stanbic IBTC, as an insurance company, is very thoughtful and has come up with these innovative products to ensure that when that event happens, you don't have to break the bank. You don't have to open a WhatsApp group just like you introduced. All what you need to do is just to reach out to Stanbic IBTC Insurance and we'll be there at your beck and call. And what does this policy cover? This policy covers you, your spouse, your parents, and your parents-in-law. And the policy allows you to pay for a minimum period of time. That is, you pay for a period of 5 years and you have your benefits. Paying for 5 years, whenever the event happens, that is the event of death, all what you require to do is just to give us a call. I will be there to give you the benefit, the fund to take care of whatever expenses comes out of it. So what Stanbic IBTC Sunset Benefit Plan covers is funeral, and it covers funeral for your parents, your parents-in-law, yourself, and your spouse. So what we're saying is that you can certainly plan for that future event that is certain to happen at one point in time.
Thank you so much for me. And, I feel like this is such a critical and crucial conversation to have, because I know that in this part of the world, and just generally, people don't like to talk about death. And yes, we don't like to talk about it because it's not a great thing, but the prayer and, the hope is that our parents-in-law, our spouses, and we ourselves, live to good, ripe old age. However, we must plan, right? And that's why we have put this plan in place. So thank you very much for me. So I'm going to come to Abdulmajid very shortly, but just to, piggyback something that you said. I know you gave 3 classes of people. You said our spouses, parents, and parents-in-law. Now, there's some people who may say, well, I don't have my parents here anymore. My parents are already gone. However, I grew up with my guardians, people who, looked after me, and I love them so dearly. Can they also qualify to be enrolled under this sunset benefit plan? So that's for you, for me.
Thank you, Mujibade. So the policy is actually created to cover you, your spouse, your parents and parents-in-law that are blood related. And talking about guardian, we have a different policy that speaks to that, that take care of that. But this particular policy is created basically to cover yourself, your spouse, parents and parents-in-law.
Thank you so much, Fumi, for clarifying that, because I'm sure some people were already thinking in that direction. All right, so I'm now over to you, Abdulmajid. Fumi already hinted, a bit about, parents, spouses, and parents-in-law. But let's go down to the nitty-gritty of it. Who exactly is eligible for the sunset benefit plan? Over to you, Abdulmajid.
So for someone that is eligible, everyone is above the ages of 18 are eligible to buy this particular product. As long as they are not older than 65 years old, they are eligible. So that is telling everyone on this call to say you're eligible as long as you're not you're more than 18 years. Then you then find out that we, just like Fumi has listed, we have enrollees who we will call additional lives. Those are the father, mother-in-law, father-in-law, as well as spouses are also eligible if you have them alive to also be added to this particular scheme, provided they are not more than the ages of 75 years. Additionally, the maximum age for them, as I have said, is 75 years. And, additionally, having living parents, in-laws, and spouses also qualifies you to have this product. So if you have them alive today, please, this is the time to start planning to show them you care and that you plan on how to give them a very good way of honoring them when they're alive and when they're gone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, so I want to poke your answer a bit and just ask a few questions that I feel like might be on the minds of, the people who are listening and our dear participants that have joined us today. So you have talked about how we, parents, spouses, and parents-in-law. Can I sign myself up and, put a benefit, and put maybe my next of kin, so that when I get to that ripe old age, right, my spouse can claim on my behalf? Does that work? Does it work that way?
All right. So for this product, when you're buying it, you primarily covering yourself first. You are the most compulsory person on that list, as you said. So you could decide to cover yourself alone, then make your spouse your beneficiary. Next of kin is someone that we contact, but your beneficiary is the person that has access to that benefit if anything happens at that right age. And once you pay your premium up to date, is a whole life policy. When we mean whole life, that means death is certain, and at any point in time, at the age of 90, 100, when you pass, the benefit will always be paid to the named beneficiary.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Abdulmajid, for clarifying that. So I'm back to you, Fumilayo. And my question is, what is the maximum age our parents should be before we apply and enroll them for the sunset benefit plan? I know that, Abdulmajid has touched a little bit on it, but again, we want to expatiate and talk about how, the maximum age. And again, so just the part B of that is there a minimum age? So is there a minimum age? The actual question is, what is the maximum age our parents, our spouses, or parents-in-law should be before we enroll them under this sunset benefit plan? Over to you, for me.
Thank you, Mujibade. Very interesting question. So when we talk about maximum or minimum age, So I'm going to start from the policy holder, that is you that you want to take on the policy. And in taking on this policy, or what's the age that you are required to be is age 18. The minimum age is age 18. And the maximum age for you to take on this policy is age 65. As long as you are within this age between age 18 and 65, you can take on the policy. And for your enrollees, which happen to be your parents and parents-in-law, you can add them to the policy as long as they are below age 75. So for you and your spouse, if you are between the age of 18 and 65, you are ripe for this policy. You are eligible to take on this policy. And for your enrollees, that is your parents, that is your father, your mother, your parents-in-law, your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, as long as they are still below the age of 75, now is the time to take on this policy.
Thank you very much, Fumi. So I have another question, right? You know, Abdul Majid has spoken about how the person who is enrolling the enrollees are the people is a primary beneficiary of the product. Can I decide that you don't want to enroll and just enroll people? So if I'm enrolling people, can I decide that, you know, I'm only enrolling 3 people, but I don't want to be enrolled on this sunset benefit plan? Is there an option for that?
Okay, Mojibade, you know, when Damola answered the question the other time, he actually mentioned that you are the principal person. You are the one taking on this policy, and you are the one introducing your spouse and your parents and parents-in-law as being part of the policy. So you cannot decide not to be on the policy. You are the one requesting for the policy. So definitely you are going to be covered. But the other twist to it is that you can limit the number of people you can cover. There's no restriction as to who you can bring on board. That is, you can insure yourself and your spouse, and you can decide to insure yourself, your spouse, and your parents alone. And you can decide to insure yourself, your spouse, your parents, and your spouse parents as well. So you decide how many people you want to get covered on the policy, but definitely you need to be covered because you are the key person bringing on board all other participants to be on the policy.
Thank you so much. So that means that there is no minimum number and there's no maximum number. So far, I, as the principal person, is enrolled. I can bring up as little, either 2 or as many as 8 people to join me, or to be enrolled on the policy. Thank you very much. So I'm back to you, Daramola. And I know that there are people who, you know, are already thinking, I love my parents so much, you know, and I want something, you know, befitting for them when they pass. What exactly are the requirements? But just before you answer that, let me tell everyone who's joining again, thank you for joining us, and you're welcome to this special webinar that was curated to answer all your questions about the Sunset Benefit Plan. If at any point during this webinar, as we are speaking, or if there's any question I haven't asked that is on your mind, please feel free to use the Q&A room to drop your questions. We'll pick up on every question that is dropped there and we'll provide clarity on it. Any question at all that you have concerning the Sunset Benefit Plan, please drop using the Q&A feature on Zoom, and I will pick everything and we'll ask our panelists to provide clarifications and of course to provide answers to the questions. Again, thank you for joining us, and we're super excited that you're here this Wednesday afternoon. Well, morning and afternoon in some places. All right, over to you, Daramola. My question to you, just to reiterate, is what are the requirements to sign up? So we've talked about, you know, signing up yourself and parents, spouses, and parents-in-law. What exactly do you require of me if I'm going to sign up my family members on this Sunset Benefit Plan? Over to you, Daramola.
But the requirements are incredibly simple for people. You know, people think insurance is complex, but these requirements are incredibly simple. First and foremost is that you request for a quotation via any of our self-service channel, or even via any of our branches or any of our advisors. That quotation is to say, this is the desired benefit that I want, and this is the premium I can pay, and these are the people I want to enter. With that request for a quotation, you have an idea of how much. And I can just give an idea. If an average person of 38 years, an average age of 38 years, who wants to add mom, dad, and mom, father-in-law, mother-in-law, as well as spouse, for a benefit of 2 million naira each, you're paying about 26,300 on a monthly basis. And if any one of them passes away, you're getting those benefits per life. So just get that quotation first. Once you're fine with the quotation for your desired level of benefit, then you're able to onboard yourself through our self-service channel, which is on our website. Or you also get our some of our agents to give you our onboarding form, which we call the KYC form, Know Your Customer form, that you can then provide your details and as well as provide the enrollees details on those. You're also supposed to provide us with your valid means of identification, proof of residence of where you stay, a valid passport photograph for yourself and the enrollees. Finally, you make the premium payment. The premium payment is the price of insurance. That's the price you're paying for insurance. But to make your premium payment, you're good to go. Let me just round up that once these steps are completed, you can relax as we take care of everything, ensuring that you can express care and honor towards your loved ones without any worry of embarrassment now or in the future.
Thank you very much, Darmola. So I know that you talked about self-service channels. Is it only the website that I can visit for that purpose?
So, what we currently have is that the website allows you a direct access to a portal where you're able to do this quotation. And then in due course, people will be able to access this particular product on our on our mobile app. But the website gives a very good access to have those quotations and complete everything you want to do within the confine of wherever you are.
All right, thank you so much. I'm still on you, Daramola. So
Okay.
if I go to the website, how exactly do I navigate so that it's easy? Because again, you know that I don't like stress. I'm sure there are people on this call that don't want to be stressed. So how many clicks, how exactly, what's the address of the website? How exactly do I locate it on the website? And am I able to upload, required documents on the website as well?
So as easy as it is that we've done it in a way that when you go to Google and search for Stanbic IBTC Insurance.com as one of the top most insurance company in Nigeria today, you see it on top of the list. So you're not scrolling down, you see Stanbic IBTC Insurance.com, Stanbic IBTC Insurance.com, you see that. Once you click on it, it takes you to our website. You then see on the heading, you see personal corporate. Because you're coming in as an individual personal, you click on personal. You see the product details, you see sunset benefit plan. The moment you click on sunset benefit plan, it shows you the details of the products that you're buying, and you can click on get quotation. Upon clicking get quotation, just provide your details. To provide those details, you can provide those in less than 5 minutes, and you get the quotation sent to your email address of how much benefit you've selected, how much you're to pay, with a username and ID. With that username or an ID, you can go back to the portal and complete every other things you need to do and make your premium payment. If you do it in a day, within a space of 24 hours, you've paid premium online, your policy will become active and policy document will be sent to your email address, and as well as you're able to view it on screen. It's as easy as that.
Okay. So do we have account managers or someone who would at least reach out? Just because, again, I know that we are in the digital era, but some people still like to have one-on-one, personal conversations or a personal touch to that. So is there a phone number to call? Is there an account manager? Is there someone who would at least reach out to, or just a personalized touch to the application?
Of course, if you want personalized touch to this service that we're rendering, we have a very formidable customer service center that is at your beck and call, and you can always reach that particular customer service via our direct line 01-2706-801, and once you reach them, they're able to provide you with professional details of what you're asking for.
Thank you very much, Daramola. So I see that a few people are asking questions already in the chat room. We're super excited that you have dropped your questions. If you have any further questions, or for anyone who is just joining us, please make sure you use the Q&A feature on Zoom to drop all your questions, anything you want to be clarified, anything at all as it relates to the sunset benefit plan, please drop using the Q&A feature on Zoom. Thank you. Now I'm back to you, Fumilayo. And my question to you is, what exactly can we use the funds for? So when I've enrolled, when I've paid my premium and I've, gone through the 5 years, when I want to withdraw or when I want to make claims, what exactly will I use the funds for? And is there a monitoring system for disbursement? Over to you, Fumilayo.
I'm happy to have you again, Mujibade. You know, so when we talk about sunset benefit plan, it's a very interesting product that I like discussing anytime, any day. And that is because of the unique features the products allow. So when you talk about what can I use the benefit for, at first you mentioned that if I pay the premium for 5 years. So I want to quickly clarify that. You don't need to pay the premium for 5 years before you start getting benefit or assessing benefit on this product. Immediately you make your payments today, you have a 9 months waiting period. And the 9 months waiting period, accidental death is also covered. But after the 9 months waiting period, you have anytime there is a claim, you have your benefits. You can earn benefits. So what I said about the 5 years is that the policy only allows you to pay for only 5 years, and you have your benefit for life. And that is because the event we are covering is a certain event. It's an event that is definitely going to happen. All what we pray for is that this event don't happen early, because considering our parents that have labored so much on us and have invested so much on us, we want them to reap the fruit of their labor. We want to take care of them. And that is why we pray that this event don't happen early. But we all know that is going to happen. And what we also pray for is that we succeed our parents. We don't die before our parents. So, and that is why this policy, this product is created for you, created for every one of us, so that we can plan for this event that is certain. So talking about the 5 years allow you to pay for only 5 years. And within the 5 years, whatever happens, Stanbic IBTC is there to pay the benefits. So you don't need to wait for 5 years before you assess benefits. You assess your benefits immediately. The 5 years just assures you that immediately you finish paying for 5 years, whenever the event happens, it can be another 10 years, can be another 15 years, Stanbic IBTC insurance will be there to support you when the event happen. Then back to your main question around what will I use the benefit for? It's at your own prerogative, actually, because the benefit you are going to be assessing, you decide what you want to use it for. You can decide to use it for catering, you can decide to use it for entertainment, you can decide to use it for the burial rights. In these are parts of in this are our culture, in these are parts of the world. There are cultural expectations from us as child when we lose our parents, in order to take care of our parents, or traditional rights that are required from us. You can decide to use the money however way you want to use it. And if you decide today that in your own clan you don't celebrate death, you don't, but you can use the fund to create a monument for your parents, a legacy that you can look up to and say, I've created a memorial for my parents to remember them for the hard work and what they have done in bringing me up to this level. Thank you, Mujibade.
Thank you very much for providing clarity as to that. So again, once you have contributed, let me just get you correctly, once you have contributed for at least 9 months, you're eligible to make a claim in the case of an accidental death, right? Is that correct?
Yes, that's very correct. Then also, let me mention something also. So there are different payments plan. You can decide to make your payments on a monthly basis. You can decide to make it quarterly. You can decide to make it annual. So that means you'll be paying just once. So it's not like you will be expected to pay continuously. So if you have chosen like an annual payment plan, you just paid once, and whenever the event happens, Stanbic IBTC will be there. So if you have chosen an annual payment plan, so that means you'll be required to make the payment 5 times every year for 5 times. And everyone on the policy is covered. Like an example we gave earlier, like yourself, your spouse, your parents, that means 4 of you are covered. And if you decide to add your parents-in-law, that means 6 people are covered for life.
Thank you very much. So I'm back to you, Daramola. And again, I like that this question just progresses, because I'm going to piggyback what I've just discussed with Fumi to ask you the question. So she's talked about how active your policy should be before you can access the benefits. So I want to ask you, if there is a case where, I know that after 5 years, the premium is spread over 5 years. If for any reason there is a loss of job, or someone cannot meet up to the expectations or the tenure of 5 years, how is that addressed?
Thank you, Mujibade. First of all, to address that question is to say this is the cheapest product in the market. For a small amount of price of insurance, which is premium, you're getting a huge benefit. So as such, a product like this is what we will say that you pay, as you pay the price, you uncover. That means that for every time you've paid the premium, we have provided you with a peace of mind for a period that you have paid for. So we have provided that peace of mind for that period. However, after those periods, if you're unable to pay premium, what it means is that, oh, you've not paid for this period and the required service cannot be provided. That means you are no longer on cover. So my advice to everyone on the call will be that this is a cheap product that you do not need to default. And if you love your people, you care about them, and you don't want to embarrass them as they go to the beyond, you want to ensure that you pay your cheap premium as at when due. So let me summarize. For that question of the person that lost his or her job, the premium they've paid has actually covered them for a particular period, which we have given a peace of mind for. Subsequently, if they're unable to pay their premium, they are not on cover. And not being uncovered simply means that if any event happens, benefit will not be paid according to the contract terms. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. Just to, again, I'm sure there are people who are wondering, okay, but what and at what point does the 9-month cover come in, where we have said if you've paid for 9 months, you're at least eligible to make a claim?
All right, so the product, as we said, is a very simple product, easy to understand. And we primarily put this product as a product that you do not need to send anyone for medical. You'll agree with me that once you're above certain ages, 60, 65, we know that a lot of adults have old age issues that they're managing. We are aware of that. But we're still saying that primarily we will not send you for medical. So we have to prevent a situation where someone comes to give us someone that is already on a sick bed. And that is why we introduced a waiting period. The waiting period is saying that when you buy this product today, we want to ensure that there's an observation of everyone that you are enrolled on this particular product, such that if any non-accidental death happens within this waiting period, nobody will be covered within this particular waiting period, because non-accidental death and natural death. And natural death could be as a result of so many reasons. It could be existing issues. But the waiting period has been set on that particular product to address the fact that we are not sending anybody for medical. Again, if accidental death occurs within this waiting period, we will be paying out the benefit. Accidental death, that means death that occurs as a result of an accident, unplanned for, not natural. Furthermore, on this waiting period, the waiting period is not a period that says that, oh, once I've gone past this period, even if I don't pay my premium, I am covered. No, the waiting period is to ensure that people that pass on within this period as a result of non-accidental death, it's clear that they're not covered. After this waiting period, just ensure that your policy remains active. And the only way your policy will remain active is by paying this cheap premium that we're talking about as at when due. Secondly, is to ensure that this waiting period, you're aware of it, and if that happens, we will return only the premium on that particular life. You know that we just collect premium and say, because if that happened within waiting period, everything is gone. No, if that happened within the waiting period, instead of paying the benefit, we will refund the premium on that particular life. So with this, I'll tell you that the question that you asked me is not for us to say this waiting period will guarantee your benefit. We're saying after this waiting period, you are covered for life so long as you make your policy active. And this policy can only be active when you continue to pay your premium. That's the price of insurance, which is your side of the bargain of the contract.
All right, thank you very much for that extensive response. So I'm going to come to you, Fumi. Hi, Fumi. Happy to be back with you. Now, my question is, I'm sure that there are a lot of people on the call who are like, oh, no, my parents are so young, or I'm still young. Why am I preparing for funeral, for my parents? I don't want them to die. So people just assume that once you start to make these plans, you automatically are, indirectly calling death on your parents. And that's not really the case, right? We just need to clear that air, that's not the case. It's just a proactive plan for when that time comes, which we pray is still far, and when our parents are, have gotten to good, ripe, old age, and even us and our spouses as well. Now, my question to you after laying this foundation is, who exactly should take up the sunset benefit plan? Who, whether young or old or middle-aged, who exactly should take up this plan? Over to you for me.
Thank you, Mojibade. And I like the word you use, where you mention proactive cover, your proactivity. And that is basically what it's all about. So when we talk about these products, I mentioned earlier that is a certain event that is going to happen. What we don't pray for is that it happens soon. And what we don't also pray for is that we die before our parents. But certainly it's going to happen. And to honor the memory of these our parents that have labored so much in bringing us up, it's important that we prepare adequately to ensure that their home call is well taken care of. So when we talk about who is eligible to take these products, or whatever your situation is, whatever you are now, I will say now is the time to take on the policy. As long as you are not older than age 65, and you have the responsibility to take care of your parents, or you are exposed to that liability of your parents-in-law. So now is the time. There's no even time to wait for tomorrow. As long as you are older than age 18 and you are still lesser than age 65, take the policy now. And your parents are still below age 75. Let me give you an example of a real life situation I had sometimes last year. And that was with my friend, Jibade. Jibade happened to be the first child of his parents. And we were talking about this product. So I told you I like talking about this product. So I spoke to him. We were at the forum and we spoke about, I talked about this product. So he was interested. As at that time, his dad was age 70 and his mom was age 68. And his spouse was 38. I specifically mentioned his name, Jibadi, because I told him that I'm coming on this call. I'm going to mention his name right on this call. And I know that he's right there. He'll be somewhere listening to me. So he took on a 2 million cover and he decided to pay an annual premium. So he paid the annual premium, and the premium then was around 330 something thousand that he paid as an annual premium to cover 2 million benefits for himself, his spouse, his parents, that is his father and mother. That is 8 million naira, 2 million on each lives. So we don't know, before the end of the year, is that passed on? And Jibadi called me around December to say, Fumi, this has happened. It was a sorrowful case because nobody wants to lose their parents, in all sincerity, because these people have labored so much. We want to take care of them. We want to make sure that they actually benefit, they reap the fruit of their labor to show that they have actually invested in us. So I condole with him. But good enough, we thank God that the event happened after the waiting period, because he picked up the policy in February. And the event happened in December. And so that 2 million was available for him. We transferred the 2 million for him, and I traveled down with him to Ede, Osun State, to go and celebrate. After the celebration, it was talk of the town. He called me a week after and said, Fumi, thank you for this product. You can imagine if he has not taken that product and this event happened. And it doesn't end at that. He still have cover on himself, he still have cover on his spouse, and he still have cover on his mother. So now is the time to take on this policy. So don't delay till tomorrow, because tomorrow can be too late. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for that. I see that you're always very passionate about the sunset benefit plan. So Fumi has said that now is the time to actually take on this sunset benefit plan, because again, it's a proactive step in preparing for the future. I mean, and the future we hope that is really, really far. So, and like she said earlier, once you're done with your premium, you're covered for life, like for life. So regardless of when the event happens, which again, we have all prayed and hoped that it would happen at a good ripe old age for us, for our spouses, our parents and parents-in-law, it's a good time to actually subscribe now, because whether or not you take it, 5 years will still happen anyway. So it's a good time to actually subscribe to this proactive plan. And I see a lot of very interesting questions in the Q&A room. I'm really excited to ask them very shortly. I'd ask a final question to Daramola, then I'll come to all the interesting and great questions that all our participants have dropped in the chat room. Again, we say thank you to everyone who is participating actively. Please, if you have any further questions about the Sunset Benefit Plan, please use the Q&A feature on Zoom, and I will take all questions and direct to my panelists. Thank you so much, everyone who's made time to join us this morning, who's made time to join us this afternoon, depending on where you're joining from. We're really grateful that you're here, and we look forward to providing answers to all the questions that you have asked and all the concerns that you may have as it concerns this product. Now, Daramola, Fumi has said that now is the time to take up, this sunset benefit plan and subscribe to this policy. Now, my question to you is, if anyone on this call decides that right now I'm interested, I like this product, I think it's really great, it's a great way to show love to my parents when they go at a good ripe old age. I must keep mentioning that so that we don't think that we really just want our parents to go so that we can bring money. The prayer is that our parents live old, we live old, our spouses live old. So people are then asking, what is the next step? So what do I do? Okay, now I'm interested. I've listened to Fumilayo and Daramola and I'm sold. I really want to be, sign up on this particular product. What is the next step from here?
Now is the right time. I have my policy. I don't mind this my beard, so I'm also young. And my parents, my mom is alive, she's young. I have this policy for a benefit of 2 million naira per life. Fumi that I just spoke to also has this policy. So when you hear us speak with passion, it's a product that we believe in. I'm also a living testimony of a product like this. When my dad passed on in 2016, a similar product like this enabled me to give my dad a befitting farewell. It wasn't a product that says that go and call them to come and die. So first of all, people should take a resolve and move away from cultural biases and ask themselves the valid question: when it happens, where are you going to get funds from? So have that resolution after this call to say the country is becoming much more difficult. Things are becoming much more expensive. Inflation is top there. So if you look at that, let an insurance company help you to carry that burden for a very small amount of premium. So once you've taken that resolution to take that step further, knowing fully whether you're the only one that can help yourself and you have an insurance company to help you, then you can go to our self-service channel. We like talking about self-service channel because we want you to have a feel of how you go about this by yourself. And that's why we keep talking about self-service channel. You can go to our website, www.stanbicibtcinsurance.com. I'm also aware that a link will also be dropped for people to also complete the details and also provide an email so that our customer service desk can also reach out to them for further inquiries and also for follow-up. So with that being said, when you get to the website, I've explained that before, you'll be able to see a place called Personal. You click on it, you're able to see Sunset Benefit Plan. The details, as simple as it is. You get your quotation and wow, you pay your premium, complete your details, and you get your policy document within 24 hours. Policy document is contract document. So long as you pay your premium, you get that within 24 hours, sent to your email address. If you go around, not many insurance companies do this that we just mentioned. Then if you feel that, oh, you're not a self-service person, you want somebody to reach out to you, you like sending emails. Like I read a report, they said over 50 billion emails are sent in a day. So if you have one of those 50 billion emails that are sent in a day, you can always send us an email. Ensure INSURE at stanbicibtc.com. And for some of us that like to talk to people that have beautiful voices, wonderful people that will give us professional talk, they will address our question. We would like to hear people speak to us. You can give us a call. The customer service center is there. We don't even call them customer service, we call them customer experience center. Come and experience Stanbic IBTC. You will not go anywhere. So you can give us a call. 01202706-801. I'll take that again. 012706-801. Somebody is at the other side ready to talk to you about the product and to give you every necessary assistance that you require. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful to my panelists for doing justice to this conversation. If you've had a good time and if you think this has been enlightening, please use the emojis on Zoom to give us, a well done, and to just say, give us a round of applause. Thank you so much. Please celebrate Daramola and Fumilayo. Oh, wow, the applauses are coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And now I will move to the Q&A feature where I would pick up on questions that our participants, beg your pardon, have dropped today. So I'm going to start with the first one I have here, which is from Ahmed Abu. And Ahmed is asking, how can you prove when the benefit needs to be used? So I'm sure he's asking, do you need to do a check? If I say, for example, that my father has passed, will you ask me for death certificate or a picture of him at the mortuary, or what things would you require? So how can I prove that the benefit needs to be claimed now? So for me, Abdul Majid, both of you, who's going to take this?
Okay, so that's fine. I can take it. Okay, thank you, Mujibade. So when the event happens, that is the event of death, all what we require for you to prove that the event has happened is medical cause of death. So we need a certificate or a document that shows that the event has happened. Insurance is a contract of documentation, and when it's happened, we don't need the picture at the mortuary. We don't need, all what we need is something to confirm, to validate that this event has happened. And when we have this document, then we go ahead to make the payments. So that is all what is required. Then I think to further answer that question, so if I look at it in the other way, maybe the question is also asking that, do I need to specifically use the fund for funeral? So you can use the fund for whatever you decide you want to use it for. I mentioned earlier that some other clan they don't celebrate death, but you can make a monument for your parents to say, these people have invested so much in me and I want to make a memorial. I want to do something as a memorial in their name. So you can decide to use the fund whichever way you want it. But in order to confirm or to validate that this event has happened, we need medical cause of death. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Ahmed Abu, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't answer it, please feel free to drop another question, just to override what you've just asked. And we hope to be able to provide clarity and answers to your question. I have another question here from Samuel Obodagu. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Samuel is asking, can I enroll my elder sister that took care of me throughout university because my mother is now 87 years old, while she is just a little above 60 years. So the question is, can I enroll my elder sister? We're related by blood. So can I enroll my elder sister who took care of me all through my university days, because my mother is 87 years old now, and my sister that I want to register is a little above 60 years?
Let me rephrase that. That means the mother is above 60 years. Am I correct?
Yeah, no. The mother is 87 years old, but his sister looked after him all through university. And this is, he wants to just show love to his sister and say, my sister is also like a mother to me. She's related to me by blood. Can I enroll my sister since my mother is 87 years old and my sister that I want to enroll, or that I desire to enroll, is a little above 60 years old?
Would have loved to cover extended family, but in a system where it's hard to find record, it becomes very difficult to validate who is the sister, who is this. The easiest one that you can validate, at least one of the simplest, is father, mother, in-law, mother-in-law. And that's why we have restricted this product to that. So that person will not be able to cover their sister. However, since the sister is above 60, I want to believe that that sister has a child or children who are above 18 years. So such a person can use that route to say, get those siblings, is it cousins, to buy that particular product for their mom via his own introduction. And in that way, the whole benefit of the whole objective of having a good sent forward and farewell for that particular mother of us in the form of sister could also be achieved via that route. So my suggestion is that so long as that sister has children that are above 18 years, let that person route this product that is so good to them so they can get it for their mom, and that is achieved.
Thank you so much. I think that's a perfect way to answer that. Thank you very much, Dharmola. We have an anonymous attendee that is asking, if I have my parents on the policy, can I add other enrollees during the term of the benefit? So I'll take that again. If I have my parents on the policy, can I add other enrollees during the term of the benefit?
Okay, I'll take that, Mojibade. So I want to believe that that question is, I have started this policy and I already have my parents on the policy. Can I add other enrollees like my
Let's
parents
assume I
in-law?
was single when I started, and now I'm married and I want to bring my parents-in-law on board if I already have my parents. How does that work?
Okay, so the way that works is that you will be required to take on another policy. So specifically for the new enrollees, which will this time around be your parents-in-law. So if you have started the policy with yourself and your parents, then if you want to add other eligible enrollees, then you start another policy. And that is because, don't forget that I mentioned that the premium payment period is for 5 years. We've started a journey together initially. So bringing other people into the policy is going to distort the policy plan. So I expect to start another policy, to start another journey of 5 years. And I mentioned earlier, you can enjoy the benefit within these 5 years. What we're saying is that you don't need to wait until the end of the 5 years. The 5 years is just saying that you can pay premium for 5 years, but you enjoy cover. Cover exists and cover is for life.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I hope that answers the question of the person who dropped that. That's an anonymous person, so I can't call your name, but I'm sure you know that you asked the question. So if that answers your question, we hope that if you have any other question, please drop. But if that doesn't answer, please go ahead to drop another question because we're here to actually provide answers to all the questions you have as regarding sunset benefit plan of Stanbic IBTC Insurance Limited. All right, Ahmed Abu is asking again. One of the presenters mentioned that you need the passport of the parents, but sometimes culture makes them feel bad about this. Is there any other way?
We know that there's a difficulty going back to people to say, can I get this? Can I get that? But if you truly love them, there are ways that you can do that. For example, I'll use myself as an example. When I wanted to do it for my in-law, I had the difficulty of calling my in-laws to tell them, I need your means of identification, I need your passport photograph. When I sent them a chat, the first they asked me is, for what? And I cannot come out to tell them that this is the purpose. What did I do? I reached out to my wife and her sister, and I said, this is what I want to do. Please, just help me to get this document from mom. And they did. And they got it for me. From my own mom too. I needed to get a passport page because I don't have it. And when I got to our house, I just told her, Mommy, please, can I see your passport? I just want to check something. And when she gave it to me, I took a shot of that passport page of the details. I took it and I said, what do you want to do? I said, don't worry, I'll let you know. It's something that I'm working on. So you need to be smart to be able to provide, to be able to go around that for them because it's coming out of love. And you're scared that if you tell them, if you tell them, they become scared.
Paranoid, yeah.
Yeah, you understand? So those are the ways of going around of those things.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. I have another anonymous person here who's asking, what if you're not married yet? Can you still insure your parents alone? Absolutely. I think I can answer that, very confidently. Absolutely, you can insure your parents alone. And just like we answered previously, and Fumi did justice to that, if you like to add other people, you then, start a different policy plan so that you don't distort the 5-year journey that you've already signed up to. Thank you very much. I have another question here. If my parents or parents-in-law dies before I complete paying for premium, what will happen?
Okay, thank you very much, Mujibade.
I know that some of these questions we might have addressed whilst we're talking, but again, so people joined us at different times during the webinar, so we would cater to everyone regardless. So just to reiterate the question, it says, if my parents or parents-in-law dies before I complete paying for premium, what will happen? Over to you, Fumi.
Thank you, Mujibade. And I find it really interesting that you are even able to answer some of these questions yourself. And that speaks to the fact that you understand what we are talking about the sunset benefit plan and the benefits of the policy. So talking about if the parents or parent-in-law die before premium payments. So I need to clarify it in 2 ways, and I'll be answering it in 2 ways. And talking about the payments, I will start with the premium payment period. So the premium payments, I mentioned that you can decide to make your premium on a monthly basis. You can decide to do a quarter premium payment. You can decide to do a semi-annual or annual premium. So you pick on this policy today. Let me give another example of my friend. I told you I'm passionate about this product. My friend Shade, our own policy, she picked on this product and she decided that she wanted a 1 million cover. When Shade picked up this policy for a 1 million cover, she decided that she wants to be making the premium on a monthly basis. And she started making the premium. She started paying her premium monthly. She started sometimes in July last year, and nothing has happened. She's still paying the premium monthly. So premium payment period is for 5 years. But in between these 5 years, if the events happen, your parents, your parents-in-law, your spouse, yourself, you are covered. If you finish paying the premium after 5 years, whenever the events happen, you are still covered. So when we talk about premium payment period, we have to be careful as to, is it before I even start the policy? So if it is before I even start the policy, as I'm filling the form, thinking of starting, then I don't have my parent and I don't have my parents-in-law anymore. So that means you can only cover yourself and your spouse. The people you want to cover, which is the parent and parents-in-law, are not even alive to be covered on the policy. But if they are alive to be covered on the policy and you've started the policy, whatever the frequency of premium you've chosen does not deter you from claiming on this policy when the events happen. As long as the events happen after the waiting period, you can get your benefits. And after the 5 years premium payments period, whenever the events happen, you are covered for life. Anytime, any day, with Stanbic IBTC Insurance Sunset Benefit Plan.
Thank you very much Fumi. I have another question here from Ahmed. Ahmed is asking, what happens in the unfortunate circumstance of needing to claim multiple times in a year? So Ahmed is asking, let me just read again, that what happens in the unfortunate circumstance of needing to claim multiple times in a year?
So for the benefit of people that are listening here, claiming multiple times will occur because the person, the customer, has added maybe mother-in-law, father-in-law, and mother. It's a painful one. I mean, we not experience that in quick succession, you know, and I like that person now is covered. So suddenly the person loses mother and father within a space of say 3 months. as long as the waiting period has been surpassed. Premium, that is the price of insurance, has been paid up to date. As those people as a person, benefit is payable. There is no limit to the amount of claim you can have in a year. Provided the waiting period, you've surpassed it, you have paid your premium up to date at the time they passed on, benefit is payable on those lives, even when they happen in quick succession.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. So for the person who asked that, I mean, Ahmed, so let's know if your question has been answered. If it hasn't, please, by all means, feel free. You can paraphrase, you can rephrase the question so that, we can answer it properly. Now, someone is asking, what is the difference between the sunset benefit plan and the sunset benefit whole plan? Okay, this person has read the syllabus, the full syllabus of Stanbic IBTC Insurance Limited. All right, so over to you.
Thank you, Mojibade, and I'm glad to answer that question. So it's definitely shows that this person is aware that there's a product called Sunset Benefit Plan. So the product we are talking about today is Sunset Benefits Plan. Is a type of insurance, life insurance cover that is called whole life. But the name of the product is Stanbic IBTC Sunset Benefits Plan that covers you for the whole of life, cover all the enrollees you add on the policy for the whole of life. That is whenever it happens, we are at your beck and call.
Awesome. Thank you very much. This person definitely did their research and, got everything together. That is great. So for me, let me just ask you to hold on. I have another question for you. So you have mentioned that you can do a quarterly, monthly, biannual, or annual plan, right? Where you're making your payment. An anonymous attendee here is asking, how can I make a one-time payment of the total premium? So basically, can I make a one-time total payment of the premium, or a one-time payment of the total premium?
Very interesting. And I'm happy to answer that question once again. Okay, so the different premium payment frequency we have on the policies are monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, and annual. We don't have a single premium. But however, if you have a windfall and you want to pay up, there's nothing stopping you. Don't forget that we're saying this is taking care of your future. Because even for me, I prefer to just pay it up and forget about it. I know that that is key and sorted. Whenever I have such incidents, I just reach out to Stanbic IBTC. So if you have that fund, you can just pay the annual premium for 5 years, and you know that that is sorted for life. So whenever you require the benefits, we're at your beck and call.
Thank you very much. I'm sure this person is assuming, what if I just hit a jackpot or win a lottery and I want to pay everything all at once? Are you going to stop me from paying? But thank you for shedding more light on that. Someone is asking here that what is the premium rate? Again, so we're going to be answering questions from people who joined at different points during this webinar. So what is the premium rate? That's what someone is asking here. And this person is an anonymous attendee.
Okay, the premium rate is not fixed, and it's not something that you just see. But I would say that the minimum premium anyone can pay for the minimum benefit is 5,000 naira. That is the minimum for the minimum benefit, and a very young age is 5,000 naira. However, to be able to get, it's customized to you. It is customized to your need. So for us to properly price you, we will need you to provide us with your date of birth, that is for yourself, date of birth of other lives or a release that you want to add to this particular product, and the respective benefit. Once you give us those details, we're able to then tell you that this is your premium. And this, like I said, you can go on the website and you get this quotation by yourself. And you can also reach us via an email or call us. You can always get this quotation. What you should just take note while you're requesting for that premium is to say that the benefit that you choose for yourself must be more than the benefit that you have chosen, must be equal or more than the benefit that you choose for other lives. So some people will say, oh, I don't want it. I just did it for my parent. They'll now say, I choose 2 million naira for myself, for my mom, 10 million. So in that case, it's either you're choosing 2 million naira for yourself and 2 million naira for other lives or for your parent or parent-in-law, or lower than that. Then this is also subject to the minimum and maximum benefit. So for policyholder themselves, the minimum benefit is 500K, while the maximum is 10 million naira that you can take for yourself and spouse. For the parent and parent-in-law, the minimum is also 500. Let me use the word half a million naira, while the maximum you can take for them is 5 million naira. As the case may be, the benefit must not exceed the benefit of the owner of the policy. It's either equal or lesser than that. Thank you.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you so much. So just to clarify again, for those who maybe might not have gotten it, you're saying in essence that you can have different policy rates for the different people that you sign up. But however, the enrollees benefits cannot exceed the primary enrollee, which is if I enroll my parents, the benefits that I'm subscribing to for my parents, for example, cannot exceed mine. Is that correct?
That is correct. Like I said, it's customized, it's personalized to you and your need. And that is why everyone will have different pricing.
Okay, thank you. Now, just to again ask you, Daramola, is there a calculator on the website for people who want to check, the quotation, so that if I'm saying I'm subscribing to the 5 million, how much do I pay every month, or how much do I pay if I want to buy annual or every quarter, if I want to make quarterly premium payments? How do I confirm that, or the quote just generates it for you and sends it to you? Is that how it's done, or is there a calculator that I can see to help me verify how much I'll be paying depending on the period I choose?
Yes, there's a calculator, so it's already inbuilt, so you can play with it. Oh, if I put 2 million naira for everybody, oh, this is my premium X naira. Oh, let me change it to 5 million naira. Oh, this is my premium for, oh, let me say I want to pay per annum. This is my premium. So you have that room to play with those benefits and those premium. And once you are done with the one you want, of course, you can then click send and you get the copy of that quotation in your email address and with a direction of how to go about completing your normal details.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Daramola. So someone has asked here, but I won't pose it to anyone because I would just answer it. An anonymous participant is asking again, how many years do I have to pay for? The answer is just for 5 years, and you have the cover for life. I have another question here, right? That is, I think Oluwaseun Ogunye is asking, how does a sunset benefit plan work with a Muslim who is buried almost immediately? There's usually no time to get a medical certificate or cause of death. I would read it again. How does a sunset benefit plan work with a Muslim who is buried almost immediately? There is usually no time to get a medical certificate or cause of death.
Thank you, Mujibade. Okay, so for that instance, we will require a burial certificate. We require a burial certificate and something to actually evidence that that event happened, like maybe an officiating imam that's actually conducted the service. So we require those documents. Another thing I also want to mention also is around the benefits here, the benefits that this policy affords. The maximum benefit for you as a policyholder and your spouse is 10 million. That is, if you want to take on this policy, you have between 500,000 to 10 million. I can say I want to cover myself. Considering the situation of the country today in terms of the access to the cost of things, I mentioned that my friend Jibade last year insured, he had a funeral benefit of 2 million. I know that for this period, he would have been considering a 5 million cover. because of the cost of things. So it's important that we also discuss around the benefits that is available, which is maximum of 10 million for you and your spouse. But for your enrollees, the maximum is 5 million. That means you can cover your parents to the maximum limit of 5 million. So to answer our participants that have requested that if he happen to be a Muslim, what it requires is we need a burial certificate, and we also need like a detail from the person, like a letter that officiated the service. I mentioned earlier that insurance is a contract of documentation. So when these events happen, we need to actually validate that the events actually happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fumi, for that. And just to again poke further, just, if there is no certificate from the imam or the officiating imam, is there any alternative document or supplementary document that can be provided just in case?
So I would like to, when you say, is there any alternative documents? What are the type of alternative documents, really? Because this time around, we want to actually validate that this event happened, and it can happen anywhere in Nigeria. So in order to show to us, we're not going to just say somebody call us and say, this event has happened. So how do we confirm that is actually happened? And that is why we request for these documents. So if there are documents that can be provided that can actually show that this event happened, is what we're talking about here. Because when we collect these documents, it's not like we're going to use it for anything. What we're using it for is to validate that the event actually happened. Right? I don't know if that answers your question, Mujibade.
It definitely does. Thank you very much. We'll be wrapping up this webinar very shortly. Again, we'd like to thank everyone that has joined us here today. We have about 2 more questions that I would take, and then would encourage you. There's a link in the chat room that has been dropped for you to sign up, because again, we want you to sign up. We want you to take proactive steps to show love to your parents, your in-laws, and your spouses. It is in no way calling on, on death. It is just to say that I love these people. And when that time comes, again, we see how inflation, happens very rapidly in Nigeria. And so this is a proactive step to say that I'm going ahead, into the future to make plans for something that will eventually happen, although it would happen late by God's grace. Now, someone is asking, is it possible to also have 2 active plans at the same time? For example, covering for the same people. If I pick up a plan for 2 million this year, and then later I want to pick up another for 2 million, is that possible? There's an anonymous attendee that is asking that. I'm not sure if you got that question, but let me read it again. It says, is it possible to have 2 active plans at the same time? That is, for example, if I have a covering for the same people, I pick up a plan for 2 million this year, and later I want to pick up another plan for 2 million in the later year. Is that possible?
It's possible, subject to the maximum limit of benefit per life. So we've designed this product in a way that if you come with your mom this year and you add that to the policy and you selected 2 million, if you're coming back next year to buy an additional cover, you cannot go beyond 5 million. That means you have a difference of 3 million naira to add to it. Once you get to the top, maybe you get to the maximum of 5 million, you can no longer add that person, and none of your siblings will be able to add that person on the list again. I'll take an example. I buy a product now. I had my mom 5 million naira. You can see we told you that the maximum benefit for parents is 5 million. What that means is that if I'm coming back next year to buy, I will not be able to buy for my mom because I have gotten to the ceiling of 5 million naira for her. However, if this year I had bought 2 million naira for her, and I'm coming next year to say, oh, I want to buy another policy for 2 million, I can do that because 2 million plus 2 million is not yet up to 5 million. The other one is that you also have to be careful, because when you have sold this product to your siblings that, oh, this product is nice, you can also get it for mom. You guys have to be very careful, because if you have taken the maximum benefit, the other siblings will not be able to take for that particular life, because the maximum ceiling of 5 million naira has been breached, and that is the maximum. So yes, you can have 2 active policies, subject to the maximum benefit per enrollee.
Thank you very much. I know I said there were 2 final questions, but of course, we want to cater to everyone who's made time to attend, and we value your questions. So 2 final this time around, 2 final questions before we again call you to action to please click the link in the chat room to sign up now. We want you to sign up. We want you to take that proactive step. So Omolola Adelegon is asking, is there interest on the sum assured, and what is the percentage?
I sincerely like that question. And, so I will just speak to my earlier example of my friend. And I think that will definitely answer the question. So this policy, the premium you are paying on it is not in any equal or direct proportion to the benefits you stand to get on the policy. So let me repeat my experience with my friend Jibade. And I know it won't be cross with me because I've told him that I'm going to mention his name on this call. Okay, so as at that time when Jibade took on this policy last year, he was age 40. And his spouse was age 38 as at that time. His dad was 70 and his mom was 68. He took on this policy for a 2 million cover to cover himself, his spouse, that is, himself was covered for 2 million. His spouse was covered for 2 million. His father was covered for 2 million and his mother was covered for 2 million. That means in total, the coverage on that particular family was 8 million. And what he was requested to pay was 350 something, I think 353,000 thereabouts as annual premium that he was calculated for him because of his age, his spouse age, and his parents' age. When this event happened in December, that we had to travel down to Ede, we paid 2 million. We gave him 2 million. So you can see that the premium he paid, 350, is not about interest or something. We paid 2 million cover, 2 million benefits to him. And what that means is that, like somebody that have asked a question that if this happening equals to section, assuming in other year, we had another that we don't pray. Jibade, I'm not praying for the death of any of your loved ones. What I'm saying is that we would have paid another 2 million. We are exposed to 8 million benefits, and he had paid 353,000. So when you compare the premium with the sum assured, is a function of, this is insurance, a function of what is the age of the people you are bringing on board. So it's not about interest or whatever it is. And I mentioned earlier that is a certain event that is going to happen. We all know that is what we owe to as women. One day we're going to die. But what we are praying for is that we don't die early and we don't lose our parents early. But when it happens, you don't need to break a bank. You don't need to open a WhatsApp group to be soliciting for money. So just hit the dial and call Stanbic IBTC Insurance, and we'll be there to pay the benefits. Thank you.
Thank you so much for me. We're wrapping this up. We have a link in the chat room that is a survey. We want to also, find out how we can serve you better and if this session was very beneficial to you. And finally, this is a similar question to what we had before, but I'll just ask in case I'm assuming this person joined us late. So an anonymous attendee is asking and stating a challenge. I started my plan in January, but I didn't add my spouse because I didn't know much about it. Is there anything I can do to add her and continue? So I know you've answered this. That's why I said this person probably joined us later. But he is pleading. I think it's also more of a plea. Like, I didn't know much about it. But is there anything I can do to add my spouse, her, and continue?
Okay, thank you, Mojibade. I mentioned earlier that this is a plan for a period of 5 years. So if the policy has started and has started running, to add the spouse, or what I will advise our valued customer is that they pick up another plan to include the spouse. It's not too much. We're talking about a benefit on a life. There's no amount of value you can place to a life. So it's not too much. We can just take it on. And when we compare the premium that is expected to be paid on this policy with the benefits, is incomparable.
All right, thank you so much. We won't be able to take any further questions, but we do hope that this has been really insightful. Before I do the official close for this webinar, I would give our panelists, Daramola and Fumi, one final chance in 30 seconds to please summarize their thoughts, summarize everything about Sunset Benefit Plan, and preach to the members of this church. Preach to everyone who is listening. We want to convert you. We want you to come on board. So I'm handing over to Fumi now and Daramola. So I'll start with Daramola and allow Fumi to wrap up. So Daramola, over to you.
Thank you very much for everyone at this call that attended. I think for me to you is to say, take that decision right now. It could be too late, and there's an appointed time for that, but nobody knows when it will happen. And when it happens, you might never be prepared. Please don't allow yourself to go and break your investment return because you want to fulfill it right. Don't go and borrow, or don't go and open a WhatsApp group or GoFundMe, or allow your community to be the one to come and contribute for you. Don't allow people to take over the burial ceremony of your lovely parent when you don't have money. So please let an insurance company step in for you. Stanbic IBTC Insurance Limited, with the Sunset Benefit Plan, let us stand in for you. It's very cheap. That's the cheapest product in the market. The cheapest.
Thank you.
Please just take it and cover yourself and your loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And even if the people want to support you, it's not because you don't have your own. Stanbic IBTC already gives you your own covering, and people can support you as they like, but at least you are not vulnerable to their own support and waiting.
Yes, so Mojibade, when I lost my dad, there was a particular uncle that came to the sitting room to say, how do we want to plan Alaji's burial? And the boldness of my mom to stand up and say, calm down. Alaji's children will get back to you the time and venue. If you don't have money, you cannot say that. That uncle would have taken over that burial if we have money. Thank you.
Awesome. I love it. It's a confidence for me. So you see now, the other people's contributions will just be an addition, not that it will be the sole, source of the funeral plan. So this is great. Thank you so much. And I would yield the floor now to Fumi to help us with our closing thoughts as we wrap up. Again, before Fumi goes on, we have a link that we have dropped in the chat room. We want to please hear your feedback on how this session was. And we really want to take, your honest opinion about how insightful it was, or if it wasn't for you, please feel free to click the feedback link. We want to hear from you about how this session was. Over to you, Fumi.
Thank you very much, Mojibade. I will end like this. When we talk about our parents and our loved ones, which happen to be our spouse, our parents-in-law, there is no limit to the benefits you can place on their life. And considering how our parents have invested in us, I think it's just fair on us to make sure that we have a provision that can ensure that we give them a befitting home call. When this event happens, you don't need to break a bank. Now is the time. Don't wait till tomorrow. Hit the dial now. Call Stanbic IBTC Insurance for Sunset Benefit Plan. Thank you.
Call Stanbic IBTC Insurance for Sunset Benefit Plan. You've heard it from our preachers. They've told you how this is a proactive step. And we also shared an example of someone who had only paid 353,000 naira and got 2 million naira to plan the funeral of a family member. So this is definitely, a welcome idea. We have 2 links in the chat room for you. We have a link, which is a feedback form, because again, we want to take your feedback. You're important to us. You're our customers and customers to be, and we want to take your feedback on this particular webinar. We also have a link that takes you to the website. We have a phone number that we have dropped in case, after this call, you want to think about it for about an hour and then you want to call someone. The phone number is in the chat room, and we are asking you to please reach out to us either through the website or through the number that we have dropped. If you've enjoyed this session, please give us our emojis. I can already see the emojis even before asking. So I'm taking it that this is good feedback and you have thoroughly enjoyed this session. Thank you for joining us. We hope that after we have spoken to you about funeral insurance now, you will take that proactive step to register now with Stanbic IBTC Sunset Benefit Plan. Please enjoy the rest of the day. My name is Mojibade Shismaya. I've had a great time steering this conversation. We will see you when next we have another webinar. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you. I still see the emojis coming. We thank you. We appreciate the emojis. We're really excited that you joined us. Please tell your friend and tell a friend about the Sunset Benefit Plan. Tell your colleagues, tell your neighbors, tell everybody in your WhatsApp groups, in your communities about this plan, because we want to create more awareness about this funeral insurance that we have introduced. And it's a very special product, like we have already said, very special product for everyone. So please tell everyone in your community, tell your friends to tell their own friends and their family members about it. We have 2 links in the chat room. One is a feedback form that we're craving your indulgence to please fill. We want to hear your feedback because you are our customers and you're important to us. Also, we want you to take the action now. Another link takes you to the website. We also have the phone number that we have dropped that you can call. So if you want to call, please feel free to call. We are open to taking your questions and of course providing answers to them. And we can guide you through how you can sign up because we want you to sign up. Again, thank you very much for joining us. We will end the webinar now. We will see you next time. Thank you for joining us.